Okay, welcome back YouTubers, and welcome to all my new subbies, and all my old subbies, welcome you too. Okay, to be honest, I actually had a video for you last night. Well, it would have been released now in the morning, but SD card, lost all the footage peeps, so I need to run you through what I can remember, obviously, on the results on the windmill. So the windmill, it got battered last night, and look at this, it got battered. It's my fault, to be honest, because I never put no Celeflex on the actual second ring. I only put it on the first ring, so yeah, that was my problem. What can I tell you about it? So basically, I wanted to see if it can maintain my electricity in my van. So obviously I was in the van chopping up some wood on my inverter, my 2000 watt inverter. I had the diesel heater on, I had the TV on, obviously I had my 12 volt lights on, and there was something else, my fridge freezer. Bear with me. Sorry about that. Well, right, where was we? So yeah, as I said, I've had diesel heater, TV, fridge freezer, my lights on, inverter, I was chopping up wood, and my batteries went down to 11.2. And you know, if you watch my videos, I don't really go down nowhere near to about 12.2, 12.3. You know, I try not to kill my batteries off. And I've had my batteries like for 4 years, acid batteries. I think even longer than 4 years, some of them. Anyway, let's jump straight back into the story. So I decided to put the windmill up for a test. Bearing in mind we never got, you know, that much wind. We got, I'll say, quite, you know, a reasonable amount of wind. So when I connected it all up and that, and the diesel heater cut down and stuff like that, it stayed around 12.5 for at least 4 to 5 hours, just with the windmill. Because obviously at 8 o'clock, but yeah, I have to tell you this as well. I've got a 275 watt solar, and I've got that fake 100 watt solar in the front. So it's just that's 30 watts because it is roughly around 30 watts. So yeah, around 8 o'clock, sorry, it started at 8 o'clock. Around 11, 12 o'clock, the batteries were staying around 12.5. You know, I had all the info on that SD card there. So basically I said to myself, oh, okay, it's doing good, I'll just leave it on. So obviously when I went to bed last night, the only thing I left on was the fridge freezer. I switched the TV off, obviously diesel heater was off, the lights were off, and I just left the fridge freezer on full power. So I woke up at 5, came down at 5 just to check, you know, the batteries, and the batteries were showing 13.2. So it worked brilliantly, and obviously, you know, it's still showing 13.1. The only thing is, the inverter was showing 12.7, and up there was showing 13.2. So yeah, I've just disconnected this because it got battered. Luckily I came down at 5 because I think a bit longer. No, that's my fault. Super glue. Didn't use Celeflex. Only used Celeflex on the first bit. So what I'm going to do, I will glue this back up and give it another test, and hopefully I won't lose no footage this time. And all I'm going to do though, I'm going to just leave this on, and you know, just see if it can maintain like the diesel heater, the TV, the stuff what you usually use, you know what I mean? Obviously I don't really have my freezer on all the time in freezer mode, so that was quite a big challenge, and it done brilliantly, you know, especially having the TV on, the fridge, and the diesel heater, and I was getting around 12.5. I can't tell you the ampage, as I said, because obviously I don't have an amp meter. Well, I do have an RC one somewhere, but I just can't find it. So I will get an amp meter for this, and I'll let you know how many amps I actually drawed. But as I said, bearing in mind, the arm, or sorry, the head, don't spin round no more. I had so many issues with it. I got it to 180, I got it to 360, but what was happening inside the pole, it was grinding against the bolt inside. So the cables were threading, and you know, you don't want to touch negative, positive, it's going to catch a fire, or it could catch a fire. And obviously you would just damage your batteries as well. And the best thing about the way I designed this when it sits on the porthole, on top of here, so this is solid, this don't move, this has been sucker flexed, this one moves, the bottom one moves. So all I do, I poke this through the hole, someone holds it inside, or I can hold it inside if I'm on a ladder, and I'll slide this one up, that's why the wire's on the outside of it. If you don't, you have to poke the wires through there and it's just a pain in the arse. So yeah, I slide that up. I will be putting a hole in it as well, so I can slide a bolt just to give it a bit more security, because last night this was actually moving around like that on its own. So it was moving around 360 when you had a big gush of wind. When it hit the tail, it was just spinning the thing around, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it was just spinning it. So it worked perfectly last night. I bought obviously a new one of these. The first one I had fit perfectly. It was really tight and snug. So what I have to do, I have to get like a cable tie or a bit of tape and put the tape on, or paper or whatever, and just push it on like that. But I want it to be like this, so when I'm finished with the windmill, I can just take this off, stick this onto my back of my wall, and I've got a hook where this hooks up in the back, and it just hooks on like that on the back wall. So it's nice and neat and tidy. So when I want to use it, I can use it. But let me just quickly run you through what I've got, because I'm not sure if the video when I built this is still up because of the copyright situation. So obviously I can't remember the exact prices, but I do know these motors have gone cheaper now. This motor, I think I paid £18. I think it's around £15 to £18, but I think you can get it for £10 now, this motor. I think it was 300 watt. I think that's what they was claiming, a 300 watt motor. Okay, I'm not sure, but I think it was a 36 volts at 300 watts, if I can remember. Can't remember. I think it was, because I swear it said 12 volts, 24 volts, 36 volts at 300 volts. But when I ran a test on this, this was actually bringing in 19, I think at the highest I had it is 19 something volts with obviously the test I done. But don't think this is going to throw 36 volts into your batteries, because that's what that bad boy there is for, okay? So I would explain that. You can hardwire this straight. You don't need the speed controller. You can use, can't remember what it's like a resistor, and it just sends power one way. If you don't have the resistor and you connect this, your crocodile clips, I put on a crocodile clip on the actual cable itself. Yeah, if you connect that to your battery, what's going to happen, you're going to have like a proper fan in your van, or an air conditioning unit, because that would just spin. It won't generate power, just take power from your batteries and that motor will just spin, okay? So this is the best way to set it up. So get yourself a windmill speed controller, and I think the speed controller is about £7. Obviously match it with your motor, so 300 watt or whatever the motor is, or try to get a bit higher. Sometimes that's a better way. This doesn't get hot at all. I've tested all this. This doesn't get hot at all. This is perfect pucker. And all I've done, I use terminal clips to wire it up. Obviously, green is red and red. Obviously, you know what red and red is, right? Earth, right? So yeah, red and red, and black and green. Black and green is your earth, and the red is your life. So that is, it's pretty simple. And obviously the wind, I don't know what you actually call them, the flapper or the wind thing on the windmill, that's just made out of PVC. You can do it out of cardboard, but obviously this motor is quite heavy, so I would use PVC, because if you're going to use it, in all weathers, it's not going to get damaged, and everything here is technically waterproof. I set my terminal thing, I can seal this all off if I wanted to. The motor's waterproof. The speed controller's waterproof. Yeah, it is a good little DIY project, to be honest. Myself an amp meter, and I will let you know, well, on my next test, how many amps it's actually bringing in. But to be honest, it done really, really well, man. 12.5, and it stayed at 12.5 for about 4 to 3 hours. I was really, really happy with it. Obviously, that's when I was in the van. When I came down, it was just running like an alternator. So 13.2, and obviously I've got the, the 275 watt solar on top, and I had the fake 100 watt solar in the front. But it was just running like an alternator, so 3 electric, 24 hours a day, easy. You always get wind, right, at night, always. So, if I can get the information from this SD card, what I'll do a part 2 of this video. I'll tag it, I don't know, windmill update 101, I don't know, something like that, and you can see all the information there, because it was quite, you'll see the actual, you know, my, what's it called, voltmeter. You'll see the exact, it don't go past 12.5. When it, you know, when everything settled down, I switched off the inverter and the diesel heater got to its temperature, it just stayed at 12.5. Obviously after that 4 hours I was in the van, I don't know if it went to 12.6 or whatever, but it done a good job. So 12.5, I'm going to leave it as 12.5. Okay, Hobbies and Gadgets is now signing out. Peace.